A bike ride along Chestnut's new parking-separated bikeway, returning along Market Street, St. Louis from 20th Street to Broadway on September 17, 2015. Karen Carabell, starting out on Chestnut Street from 20th Street, gestures to Carl Mills' impressive sculpture called Meeting of the Waters.
I love the front row seat there.
"18th Street is the first intersection along Chestnut, and the stoplight is red for us. Karen signals that she is slowing and preparing to stop. Karen scans behind for right-turning traffic before starting to cross the intersection. The white truck in the distance, which turns right, doesn't reach the intersection for another 10 seconds. Note that after stopping for a red light, it's completely blocking the bike lane. Although Chestnut is protected from crossing traffic at 17th Street ahead by stop signs, Karen still checks for possible right-turning traffic from behind. Karen acknowledges a motorist on our right, lawfully yielding to us at the stop sign. Note the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit sign ahead. Karen gives a slowing signal approaching 15th Street, at which all cross streets are stop sign controlled. At 15th Street, Karen scans behind for right-turning motorists. While we're waiting at the 14th Street stoplight, the white truck and trailer we passed at the Mills Fountains pulls alongside.
14th Street.
It turns right after the driver checks that we're stopped and there's no cross traffic. After a 40-second wait, the light changes to green and Karen crosses 14th Street. Chestnut is protected by stop signs as we cross 13th Street, just after passing the Soldiers' Memorial on our left. Adjoining the bike lane in this block is new reverse-in parking, which is much safer for cyclists, eliminating possible door-zone bike crashes. While waiting at Tucker, I remark that I don't like bike lanes, even this kind, because of potential conflicts with turning motorists, which would be absent if it were a regular lane that we could control, to which Karen replied,
I think our job as educators is to make people aware. So, if you use this facility, you need to know that other drivers are allowed to turn right in front of you.
"And how do we make a safe left turn when we should be in the left lane?" After waiting 1 minute, we get a green light and it takes about 12 seconds to cross the intersection. There's an illegally parked van blocking the bike lane ahead, and Karen does a shoulder scan prior to merging into the adjacent lane. Even after merging back into the bike lane, Karen stays well to the left to avoid the door zone of other parked cars. We're approaching 11th Street, which is one way to the left, so no danger of right-turning motorists from behind. The broken lines in the bike lane allow motorists from the building on our right to cross it. Note the back-in parking alongside the multi-story parking garage. Google Earth shows that before restriping it was head-in parking, which some view as less safe. Note the Bike St. Louis sign displayed alongside the 11th Street sign. Karen gives a slowing signal approaching 10th Street on a green light, but it turns to amber before we arrive, so we stop. This Google Earth view shows the road ahead before Chestnut was restriped, and how it is now. Motorists can turn right from Chestnut onto 10th Street, so after getting a green light, Karen checks behind before entering the intersection. On our right is the first of 2 blocks of City Garden, and here we're passing some associated bike parking. Just ahead, 9th Street is closed on our right with removable barriers to protect pedestrians. And here we're passing a stainless steel Bike St. Louis bike rack. At 8th Street ahead there's a different treatment of the bike lane, which jogs left of a right turn only lane before the intersection, but Karen still needs to do a shoulder scan. The bike lane returns to the curbside once past the intersection. At 7th Street, Karen remarks about the lack of traffic.
Not on 7th Street either.
Restarting from a stoplight, no shoulder check is necessary crossing 7th Street, which is one-way northbound. After crossing the intersection, Karen merges to control the right-hand lane to avoid being in the door zone of the bike lane ahead. Motorists must either wait behind or pass in the adjoining lane when safe. We cross the T-junction at 6th Street on a green light, with Karen maintaining lane control. The 2 lanes of traffic joining from our left must turn left. Preparing to turn right onto Broadway, a major one-way southbound street running past the old courthouse, Karen repeatedly indicates her intention with a clear hand signal. We turn right onto Broadway, and Karen gives another hand signal before merging to control the right turn only lane. We pass the old courthouse on the corner and turn west onto Market Street, with the Gateway Arch looming behind, and except for some parked cars and a stopped metro bus we pass later, have the road to ourselves for the next 2 minutes. The first intersection is with 7th Street, which we cross on a green light. Here we cross 8th Street while passing a metro bus picking up passengers. City Garden occupies the next 2 blocks on our right. As we cross 9th Street on a green light, we pass wooden barriers on our right protecting pedestrian traffic. A platoon of motor vehicles is seen approaching from behind. The leading vehicles catch us up as we cross 10th Street on a green light, and Karen threads her way between a sewer cover and road repair. We slow for a red light, and Karen announces
11th Street.
We'd been waiting 30 seconds when a motorcyclist arrives, attracting Karen's attention. Ten seconds later, the light changes to green, and the motorcyclist merges into the inside lane as we cross 11th Street, with Karen again swerving to avoid a drain cover. For 90 seconds, a motorist follows us in lane until we reach Tucker and cross it on a green light. Shortly afterwards, we pass a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. Karen gives a slowing signal approaching a stoplight while identifying the 14th Street intersection.
14th Street!
We again have Market Street to ourselves as we pass St. Louis City Hall on our left, inspired by the Paris Hôtel de Ville in France. A platoon of cars has arrived while we're waiting. The motorist immediately behind remains there for 1 block or 46 seconds before turning right onto 15th Street. For part of that time, it appears he or she wants to squeeze by on our right, but there's simply not enough room with Karen controlling the lane. We arrive at 16th Street, which dead ends in Market Street from our left, on a green light, so we continue without pausing. Note the red car partly blocking the inside lane as it waits to turn, forcing motorists to merge partially into the outside lane. Crossing 17th Street on a green light with a fire engine parked ahead of us on the right. Karen gives a slowing signal approaching 18th Street with Union Station visible on the left just 2 blocks ahead. We pass Union Station with the arch still visible in the distance. Karen turns right onto 20th Street and then returns to the start on Chestnut Street. Produced by Martin Pine, December 2015, thinkbicyclingblog.wordpress.com. Featuring Karen Carabell, who founded Cycling Savvy St. Louis. With thanks to Steve Patterson for his photo Meeting of the Waters,